Good morning and good afternoon, because somewhere around the world, I know it's either or. Welcome to the Arion Mosley Podcast. I'm a mixed master specialist, producer, ghostwriter, songwriter. Also have a couple of credentials in the acting field as well. And today I'm intrigued to invite you guys to my journey of podcasting. Today's guest is studied at the University of Southern California, specialized in that field, and became a chiropractor. Started his journey with OC injury, and from there he opened up another office in Riverside. And today they also have an office open in San Diego, California. He's an athlete, an entrepreneur, a health freak. Also getting into boxing. He's a people's favorite when it comes to dealing with clients and just asking general information about your day-to-day injuries. I'm pleased to bring to you guys Dr. Kamron.
Man, that's a good intro.
Try.
So we have a few locations actually. So I'll list some of them off for you. So the ones that you mentioned: Riverside,
Right.
Santa Ana, San Diego. My partner as well. Shout out to Dr. Dan. Dan Hagani is my partner. Anaheim, East LA, where else? Huntington Park, Corona, Fontana. We're all over the place. So
Wow.
So whatever locations people need, we got you covered.
I thought you only had three because you had listed
We
three.
have a ton
Wow.
of locations.
Okay. So
Those busy. Those three I'm physically in. The other locations is my partner. So because I can only be in so many spots at once.
Wow. I'm glad you cleared that up because I thought it was only three.
We got a ton of locations, but I have a partner, like I was saying. So
well, thank you for stopping by today and
thanks
come
for
have a conversation with me. I want to start this conversation off with because from a professional point of view, someone like yourself, what is a chiropractor?
Okay, so a chiropractor is a doctor who mainly treats neuromusculoskeletal conditions, right? So anything pertaining to the muscles of the body, the skeleton, the nervous system of the body, amongst other things. They treat other things as well, but those are mainly the things we kind of focus on. And then in the state of California, they're primary care physicians, so they can diagnose you, treat you, whatever you need to do. Obviously, they don't prescribe medication or anything like that, but otherwise, as far as therapy, that kind of stuff.
That was the exact answer I was looking to get from you because I couldn't break it. See how you broke it down like that? That's exactly how I wanted to get the breakdown.
Yeah.
So you started your business in Orange County, correct?
So I was fortunate enough to find my partner, my work partner, and then we partnered up. We opened a location in Santa Ana, and then we did another location in Riverside. Now we have one in San Diego. We've had a few other locations, but those aren't there around. And like I was saying, he's got multiple other locations in Anaheim, East LA,
right.
Carson, the ones I was telling you about.
Well, what I was getting to, asking where you started your business, is that where you from, or is that where you grew up at?
So how I started the business?
No, like,
or
did you start the business out there because it's your city that you grew up in, or where you grew up at, where you from?
So the work that I do mainly, and you know this because you were a patient,
right?
I deal with a lot of like car accident patients, that kind of stuff. So you kind of have to go to the areas where there's a demand for that. We wanted to open an office in Santa Ana, so we found a good location and kind of did that. And that was the first location we did together. And my partner had Anaheim before that prior.
Yeah, but my question is like, where was your upbringing at? Like, where are you from?
Where did I grow up?
Where did you grow up?
So California, born and raised. Born. And then I moved all over the place. We moved to Cleveland, Ohio for a little while.
Wow, Cleveland. Huh?
Yeah.
You got some Cleveland in you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Cleveland. And then from there we moved to Iran, where my parents are from.
Iran.
Persian. Iran.
Say it again?
Iran.
Iran.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good thing that you said that because a lot of people, we trying to like see, is he Mexican? Is he...
Nah, because I speak Spanish, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm Persian.
Thank you for answering that. We cleared that up.
So we moved to Iran for 3 years. We were there for 3 years, and then we moved back to Cleveland, Ohio. From there, we moved to Spain for a year, so I can speak Spanish. That's where I get Spanish from. From Spain, we moved to West Virginia, and I did my high school, my undergrad, and all that stuff over there. And then from there, I moved back to California, and here we are now.
Okay. That's good to know because I was like, I always knew he was like Persian or something, but then again, I was like, he could be like, you know.
Yeah. I throws people off because I speak Spanish.
I heard you speaking Spanish.
I got lucky. I lived in Spain for a year. So
yeah, and then I was just like, so I was confused about that. Yeah. And my friends would always be like, we don't know.
I got lucky with that.
Okay. Let me see what I got next for you. You got to bear with me because, you know, put it together. Going on to that. But that's what my point was. I was trying to figure out, you know, where you was from. I kind of knew that, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you cleared that up.
People get thrown off pretty big because of the Spanish thing.
Okay, what was your childhood like?
My childhood was good, man. So my childhood, not to get too personal with this, my pops passed away when I was 2 years old. And then my mom got remarried, so we moved around. Like I was telling you,
So
we
you was
moved.
like the man of the house, huh?
Yeah, sort of,
Attitude.
not sort of.
Sorry.
We moved around a lot.
Yeah.
So like I was telling you, I lived in a different different location every couple of years.
Yeah, that's gonna scratch out my other question. I'm like, what high school did you go? But you moved around.
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
I mean, I'll tell you the high school. You guys won't know it though because it's a different state.
yeah,
So it has pros and cons, right? Like the pros are you get to experience a bunch of different cultures. The cons are you don't grow up with the same like group of people. So like some people that have their friends from like elementary school
Right.
where they grew up with till now, but I don't really have that.
right, because you was moving around.
Yeah, because we moved around so much, you lose touch people from across the world, you know. But it's also cool because I speak different languages. I've seen different cultures. I've experienced life in different countries, stuff like that. So
I think when you move around like that, though, if when you get to your high school days, it allows you to get a lot of connections. Because I went to 3 different high schools as well, and I just from that I got a lot of friends and a lot of different people that do different things. And I was like, and I always stay in contact with them. So it's amazing when you
yeah, but that's the thing. Like you guys stayed in contact with them. I moved again, so I'm not even in
Yeah.
touch with those people because I moved so much. But it is. I think it's a positive thing because you gain a lot of experience.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into this, man. This is already interesting. Did you play any sports growing up?
I played basketball growing up.
Basketball? Really?
Basketball in high school a little bit.
I love basketball. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I messed up both my knees, so I got out of that.
What position you play?
I played a little bit of center because I was pretty tall.
You play center?
I played a little bit of center, a little bit of power forward, and that's about it.
You didn't play no football?
No football.
I thought you automatically. Like,
no, just for fun, a little bit of not for like high school.
When I first met you, I automatically like that's a football
Yeah,
player
no,
or wrestling.
I wish I did.
Or wrestling.
Yeah. No, I didn't do wrestling either.
Oh wow. Oh, okay. What or who pushed you to the studies that helped you kind of commit to your
Chiropractic
university?
school?
Yes.
That's a good question, man. Everybody always thinks like because I'm a doctor, everybody always thinks
Parents.
like yeah, a little bit of that. But everybody kind of always assumes like because you're a doctor, you were always into like studying and like going to school and stuff. I was actually the opposite. I was always into sports and never really wanted to study and sit down and do my homework and stuff like that. So one day my little brother and my mom, shout out to my little brother. He's a ENT facial reconstruction surgeon. So anybody who needs work,
the models.
hit him up. Yeah, he's on IG too.
I gotta follow him for sure.
Yeah,
I'll get
I'll put his IG.
Put his app right here. Too.
Yeah, it's Dr. Adib Derek Sean.
Yeah.
He does facial reconstruction, Botox, and all that stuff. Anyway, so he's always been way smarter than me. One day I kind of I think I was personal training at LA Fitness. Him and my mom kind of called me and they're like, dude, you need to kind of get your stuff together. I think I was like 30 years old, 31 years old, maybe something like that. And they kind of chewed me out and I had to make a decision as to what I want to do with my career from there. And then I chose chiropractic school. So it wasn't one of those things where, some people have like these passionate stories where they're like, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a doctor. That was never my thing. I never kind of had a direction of where I wanted to go. So it just kind of happened. And I'm glad it did. It worked out well.
Yeah, I get that vibe from you, like like the kind of vibe you have, laid back, and it seemed like you know what's up. But at the same time, I always had like this, like like someone that handles their business at a high level, and I feel like you've been that way before you was taking that route. But I get that vibe from you, like you're not like in the book all the time, dude.
No,
I feel like you're definitely like
it's never been me.
Party, enjoy life.
I struggled through school, but
we all mess up.
That's the thing. Like, it doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you put in the work. Right? Some people have to study more. Some people have to study less. It's the same thing with athletics, right?
I'll definitely put you up there with the discipline. Discipline acts.
The same thing with athletes, like basketball, football, boxing, any kind of combat sports. There's people that are more talented at it naturally, and then there's people that are not as talented, but they got to work their ass off to kind of make up for it. It's the same concept with school.
So when you was going through college, you have any financial stories, or is it like one of those things like, oh, I'm struggling to barely make it to pay this tuition off, or was it some kids are like, hey, just go to school. I got you, like parents or stuff or sponsors or stuff like that. What was it like for Dr. Kamron?
No, man, no
stages?
sponsors, nothing like that. I mean, my mom supported me as much as she could, but I had to take out student loans to go for my doctorate school. So graduate programs are really, really expensive. So for the most part, I think kids take out student loans and they got to end up paying them back. And I see this argument on social media now that student loans are bad and this and that, and there's a point to make there too. But if you don't have the financial means to go to school, sometimes it's not a bad idea to take out a student loan and get your studies done and then repay it whenever you can. It is what it is. I think social media has kind of turned that into like a huge negative thing. But if you don't have any other resources, you don't have rich parents who are going to pay for then you don't have any other choice. Then you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I just like, yeah. So there's a lot of people go through that. So like, and then I remember being like younger, just running into people doing my thing, and I have like these guys that's studying to be doctors and this and that, and they're like, oh, my parents is paying for this.
Yeah.
And this and that. So,
I mean, if your parents got money, because it's not cheap.
Right. But that's not your story.
No.
Not at all.
No. I mean, my mom helped me out as much as she could with everything, and I wouldn't be where I'm at without her. But no, financially, you got to do what you got to do.
Okay, Daniel, can you post that first picture of Dr. Kamron, please?
What picture we got? It was back when I was in school.
Yeah. Look, a little chubbier though, but you still look like you. That's why I think you was like a football player. You look like
I was bigger, man. I was bigger. That was before I started boxing, though.
How much was you right there?
Probably like 230,
230?
235, yeah, something like that.
How much you right now?
Like 210, maybe.
Maybe like this guy. Play the next one. This guy right here, like this.
Yeah, something like that. That's a little bit skinnier me now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so what got you into that journey of fitness and eating well, and what's your dieting program like? What is your workout regimen like? What got you into this mentality to get to the fitness world, to that journey of fitness?
So fitness, when I was younger and before I went back to doctorate school and all that stuff, I did a little bit of bodybuilding. I kind of like enjoyed it. But I wouldn't say they're the most fit people. Not trying to piss off any of the bodybuilders who are watching this. But I did a little bit of bodybuilding. So that was that. And then when I kind of got tired of that, I transitioned over to boxing.
Right.
So, but those two things don't go together at all. Like those guys are also usually.
People that's doing like bodybuilding, they're working out. Boxing, you're training.
Yeah.
Training is.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
It's two different things.
Yeah,
people that work out, there's people that train.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean?
That's a good way of putting it.
Like, there's someone that goes to the gym and just hit the sets and do their thing. Then there's someone out there they got a whole program. Yeah. I'm running, I'm eating this.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. That's true.
Okay, man, but you look since I met you, like, you was like, little.
I was bigger, right? I was a little bit bigger, yeah.
Now you just
because boxing, man, you don't really need that much muscle, and it kind of hinders you.
Not at all.
It makes you more tired. It makes you more stiff. So it kind of messes with your boxing performance.
My Uncle Shane, my granddad had
boxing royalty.
He didn't have he didn't have him hit the weights because you need to be able to use the jab quicker.
And they also think it makes you stiff, which they have a good point. Yeah, some of that stuff. Some of that stuff, like, it depends on your weight class too. Some of the bigger guys do weight training. Some of the heavyweights. But the heavyweights don't move as well as the little guys, so it's a little bit different. Yeah,
man, you look good on there though, man. You're like,
thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So how did you get into the? Well, you told us earlier, but for the people that are listening, how did you get into the chiropractor business?
Like, how did I choose to be a chiropractor?
As far as like, how did you choose it?
The business or going to school? Because those are two different things.
I'm talking about the business.
Now the business, okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
So the business thing...
Because it is two different things.
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Because when you go to school, they don't teach you business at all. They just teach you how to be a doctor, right? So once you get out of school, you're kind of sitting there. You're like, all right, where are my patients at? Because you don't know how to be a businessman.
Right, that's what I was saying, yeah.
So I got really, really lucky. I met my business partner, Dr. Dan Hagani, another chiropractor. He taught me everything I know. And the business side. Not only the business side, but how to be a doctor too. Because when you go to school, you're kind of stiff, right? You get out of school, you're like, okay, this is how they taught me how to do it.
Right.
It doesn't always. It's not everything's not by the book exactly, right? Like, the textbook told me to, do do this, turn this patient this way, and do it this way. It doesn't all real world doesn't always work exactly like by the textbook, right?
Because it's gonna go to my next question.
Yeah. So I got lucky. I got a really good partner, and he taught me everything I know, man. He took me under his wing, and I'm really lucky. I ran into him when I did, and we've been working together for, I think, over 10 years now, something like that.
Yeah.
So
you already kind of led into my next question, because like it doesn't always plan out how it's supposed to be. But
No.
So you're telling me you already had someone a little more like,
a lot more experience than me. Yeah, double my experience, and he kind of took me under his wing and showed me step by step how to do things.
Because I was getting into my questions, like, because when you start a business like that, like how you opened up one in OC.
I had no idea, man. My business partner taught me everything I know.
Okay.
So I was
like, what was it like? So because you start this business, because sometimes businesses just don't boom right off the bat. You gotta.
That's a good little piece of advice to give people, man. Whatever business you're trying to start, I don't care if it's healthcare industry, food industry, music industry, whatever. You need to find somebody like a mentor or somebody who has a lot more experience than you, because experience in life for everything, business, combat sports, whatever, is very, very important. So I got lucky. I got a really good business partner, and he showed me the ropes, and wouldn't be where I'm at without him.
So basically, he's saying if you start a business, find someone experienced. Don't just go in with
someone a lot more experienced than you. Yeah,
we're gonna do this and just think it's going. No,
it's not how it works. You don't know the ins and outs.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Actually, that's you led right into my question. That was perfect, because I was like,
I did my homework. No, I'm just playing.
Okay. So I'm a producer and I'm an artist.
Oh yeah.
Do you listen to my music?
I've heard some of the songs, man. You sent me some of the samples back in the day before you even put out some singles.
Yeah, I send it to my certain
How many years have we known each other now? Like 5 years?
5 years.
5 at least.
5.
Maybe even more. I think you were one of my first patients in Riverside, actually. In the Riverside location, yeah.
Yeah, man.
So I remember when you were starting with music, I was like, what the hell? And then you sent me some songs, and I thought it was really dope. And I've been on Spotify, and I've played some of the songs too.
That's all. I was like, you bring a guest on, listen. No, but if you didn't, it wouldn't matter. But I'm pretty sure you do, because I got some dope stuff.
It's my patient. How can I not listen to the music, man?
But then I was getting into, so what kind of music do you like? Or what is your genre of music or your era? What does Dr. Kamron listen to?
So my music taste is, I know everybody says this, but it's really true. Like, you look at my playlist, it goes from like heavy metal to like hip hop to like EDM to classical music. Everything. The only genre I really don't touch is country music.
Right.
Not my cup of tea.
I feel that.
I know it's like a hot thing right now, country music, but just not my cup of tea.
So you like
everything, man.
What was your, like, if I would say your favorite era of music? Like what year?
Man, so I'll tell you, my first hip hop CD that I ever bought was DMX. It's dark and hell is hot.
Type of guy.
That East Coast, yeah. Because I grew up. Remember, I was in West Virginia, so DMX, that was the first album I ever got.
Fire.
Wu-Tang was big back then when I was in high school. I don't know if you remember Cannabis back before he lost his mind. He was really good. That album, 3000 BC. Mortal Technique wasn't my thing. No, it wasn't my thing. But Cannabis, that album, 3000 BC, that was one of my favorite albums.
Okay.
He had Mike Tyson on it, remember? Or no, that was the album before, the second round knockout.
I do remember hearing something.
It was an LL Cool J diss.
I haven't heard Cannabis in a long time. So
because he like puts out really weird music.
I haven't heard that name in a long time. But
back in the day, he was good when I was a kid. Locks. This is all East Coast New York stuff. Yeah. So, Styles P.
You're East Coast.
DMX. That is a different sound of music, right? Like West Coast is a little bit more, in my opinion, a little bit more like laid back.
Yeah. Or like party.
Not party. Like the sound is like not as rugged. Does that make sense? Like East Coast is like DMX. It's like grimy. Like,
I feel what you're saying.
And then West Coast is more like smooth, like DJ Quick. Snoop Dogg, like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like a different feel to it. So I grew up with that, the East Coast stuff.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
East Coast vibe. Okay, that's good to know.
I miss that music, man. I feel like the hip hop nowadays is just like this mumble rap, and I can't. Some of the
Kendrick brought it back though. I think, and I just put out this new album, and I feel like he opened the door again for people like me, because I do music like that.
Yeah,
that's.
But Kendrick's like, even though he's super West Coast, the sound of it's kind of like a mix of like East Coast, West Coast. I know he's super West Coast. I'm not saying he's not West Coast, but the sound of his music, the newer stuff is hardcore West Coast. It's like Bay type beats, right?
A lot of my friends tell me I'm from the West Coast, but I grew up on also like East Coast rappers, and they say my flow is like East Coast. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
get what
like
you're saying.
that.
So
Yeah.
that's what a lot of my friends tell me about myself. Hey, listeners, if you like what you just saw, like and subscribe to my YouTube. Also, go to Arion Mosley Podcast.com. We have merch. I have more available dates. And if you want to submit your form to be on the podcast show, submit your form, or you can email me directly, Arion909 at yahoo.com. Thank you. Continue on. So, more personal question. Not personal, but for like clients and people that's looking for this kind of stuff. When should someone see a chiropractor, and how often should they see them?
That's a good question, man. The how often is a question of what reason. Like, is it like a chronic thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, did you get in a car accident?
Right.
Is it like a major trauma type issue where it's kind of acute? It just happened like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, whatever. Then you probably should see that person, the chiropractor, a little bit more often, a little bit more frequent, right? If it's more like a maintenance thing, like I'm an athlete, I need to kind of get a little tune up, fix my range of motion, whatever it is that's bothering me, probably a little bit less frequent.
So you don't want to just keep going.
I mean, if you need to, maybe, but if you're constantly going and nothing's changing, then there's probably an underlying issue that you need to address, right?
Right.
Because if it's not, if you're doing something, whatever it is, chiropractic, whatever it is, if it's not addressing the issue and you continue to do it, then there's probably an underlying issue that your doctor needs to kind of figure out. Right.
So there's definitely benefits in getting your body adjusted.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it helps restore range of motion, get you to function the way you were
like,
normal.
Yeah, especially like athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. Athletes it's a big deal. I deal with a lot of like combat athletes since I box.
I think that's important for them.
I think it's important because you're constantly getting hit in the head, that kind of stuff. So you kind of got to.
I wasn't even thinking about the head. I was just thinking about the body.
Yeah, man. The head, especially because you're doing a lot of striking. Right. With grapplers too, like wrestlers and stuff, there's constant compression on the neck and the head. Yeah. So it's good to get range of motion and everything back and restored back to normal.
So other question I wrote for you, I thought it was a very good one. How does a client know when their doctor is doing the right or not doing the right adjustments? Like, how would a client know?
Oh, that's a good question. So,
like, there's people there's people like you that's professional and everything. There's people that probably just be on Instagram and say they do this and then they're going to them or.
So, I mean, that question, it applies to every profession, right? Like, you can go to a mechanic and they could be a good mechanic, they could be a shitty mechanic, right? You can go to a doctor, they can be a good doctor, they can be a crappy doctor.
Correct.
So you don't know. So I would probably say first thing you look at is their experience, right? Because experience is a big deal. Mm-hmm. If somebody who's fresh out of school, I'm not saying there's people who aren't fresh out of school who aren't actually good. I'm sure there are. I remember when I was fresh out of school, I was nervous to adjust people and work on them, right?
It is a scary thing.
Yeah, and when you're nervous, like the patient feels it, so nobody relaxes. You can't adjust people. So I think the first thing would be experience. The second, probably get online, read some reviews.
So there's no way a client could be like, I feel great, or man, I think I'm hurting.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's another thing. Like if you go to the chiropractor and you've gone a few times and they're not really addressing your problem, maybe you're saying, hey, my neck hurts, and the guy's over on another body part dealing with something else, then maybe they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
For the most part, man, common sense, like, if I'm going to the chiropractor and my neck hurts, I've gone once, twice, 3 times, and nothing's changed, then maybe that guy's not that great. Or maybe I have a bigger issue that I need to go address. Yeah. But the question that you asked, you can get that in any profession. You can have somebody that's good at, I don't know, who's a bad cook, who's a good cook. So
basically, you'll say the reviews or the experience.
Reviews, experience, your own experience with that person, whatever it is. So that's kind of how you figure it out.
I know it's a weird question, but I was like,
no, it's a good question.
How does someone know?
It's a good question. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Got the Dr. Kamron in here, man, my boy. Okay. You have any crazy stories you could tell me about your best or your worst experience being a chiropractor doctor?
Best and worst.
Without getting you in no kind of trouble.
No, man, we're not. I can't really get into like specific patients and stuff like that, but I don't know. I've had people try to. Yeah, I got one funny story for you.
Okay.
So one time I had a patient. We're not going to name any names, obviously. One time I had a patient who was from a different country, who had a daughter who was very young. I think the daughter was like 19, 20 years old. Mm-hmm. And he kind of wanted me to meet the daughter. And this is, you got to remember, it's a person from a different culture. So people think that just because you're a doctor, you're doing really well in life and like you can help them out. So he was like, you should meet my daughter, go out with my daughter, insistent that I would meet their daughter. And I was like, dude, I'm way older than your daughter, so no. But that's it. I haven't had too many crazy stories.
Well, kind of crazy story.
One time I had a patient actually in Riverside who was trying to fight me. No, he didn't physically do anything, but he just wouldn't leave the office. And I told him, we don't have security at the office, but I told him we have security at the office. They're going to come get you out. He's like, and his response was, so you're too good to fight me because you're a doctor. And I was like, no, man, I actually.
In the office doing that?
Yeah, he was inside the office in front of the patient.
What were they trying to fight about?
I was just like, he was just upset because his case was like a weird situation. I told him, I actually enjoy fighting, but not here, not now. It's not how we do it.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Daniel, can you bring up the next clip for Dr. Kamron? That's perfect. You just a human transition.
That was pretty cool, man.
The fuck out.
Check this out.
There you go, Mob Deep.
Yeah.
That was a
Good choice. Good selection of music.
That was a good back in the day. I remember that music video too. You remember that music video? You too?
Yeah, of course.
With the rain inside the office building and stuff.
I'm a Mob Deep fan for sure.
Nigga. Nigga. Go ahead.
Yeesh. Bye. Good night. Look taller than he looks way heavier than you though.
Fuck.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, I can tell.
But it's heavyweight, so you can come in whatever weight you want.
Yeah, man. I don't
I'm
think
pretty skinny heavyweight, but yeah.
you look a little bit heavier right there than from now, and
Yeah,
way
maybe,
slimmer.
I don't know.
Yeah, man. So I remember I was going to your office, and when I go get my checkups, we always had a conversation about boxing or sports, and we always bonded on that. So, and then you was always talking about you was getting into boxing and sparring. I seen you do a couple videos with a heavyweight legend, Alexander.
Alex Flores, my coach, Alexander the Great Flores, on Instagram.
I was telling my grandpa about that today. Like, I'm working with a dude that works with the heavyweight champ.
Yeah, man.
So what was that journey like getting into boxing? Because now that I'm talking to you, I thought you was always into boxing. Did you just pick that up on the way, or where did this come from?
It was cool, man. I how long has it been since I've been boxing? I think 6, maybe 7 years, something like that. I was just a combat sport fan, like MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, so on and so forth. And then I just decided to learn one of those days.
You don't just pick up boxing.
No, man, it's
6
years
years.
It's very slow process, and you got to stay consistent with it. I was just a fan, and then I decided I wanted to learn, and then my personality, I get kind of competitive. So when I started learning, I was like, okay, well, what's the next step? And then the next step was sparring, and then the next step I turned around and I told my coach I want to fight. And I'm sure in his head he was like, dude, you got a long way to go.
Just taking
but as long as
heavyweight champ, but if you could take his hits, because I seen some videos where he was getting punished.
Man, I get lit up by those guys all the time. Those guys are in a way different league than me, man. I'm lucky that they work with me. But yeah,
bigger than you though, right?
He's got a good 40, 50 pounds on me, but you don't get to, like, if you're gonna fight at heavyweight, you don't get to, like, complain about the weight, or you come in heavier too if you want, but that's up to you.
I mean, from the time I met you, from that video to now, like, it looks like you mean business. I mean, look, and you could tell boxers, they got this calm thing about them. Like, once you get into combat, it's something.
Well, because here's the beauty about combat sports. It doesn't have to be boxing, but just fighting in general.
I like all fighting anyway.
Like, it's first of all, it gives you the confidence to know, like, if you needed to handle a situation, you could. Sure. Not that you would, but if you needed to,
just that whole stuff.
Yeah. So then it also takes away that, a lot of guys have anger issues, and I was probably the same way when I was little. Not probably, I was. So when you learn how to fight, it humbles you really quickly, because you realize, man, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So you learn to be a lot more respectful towards people, and then whatever anger and frustration and issues you have, you take it out in the ring. That's what you use it for. But it's also, boxing is beautiful in that, like, it's
art.
It's art.
It's art.
And it also echoes life, right? Like, you're going to get hit in life. You're going to get dropped in life. You got to get up and
you got to fight.
Move forward. It's, I see people put up motivational quotes and stuff like that all the time. And I'm like, man, you instead of doing all that stuff, get up and do what you say you need to do. So
I like to play basketball. Not
Yeah.
I play basketball a lot, and I do it because I love to do it. It keeps me in shape.
Yeah.
And I have got to this level of knowledge, of so much knowledge of basketball that I could train or I could teach younger people.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna start doing coaching hopefully
That's
soon.
awesome, man.
But
I gotta come play
so
some
that was
ball
your
with you sometime.
first, huh?
I gotta come play some ball sometime.
Oh yeah, you said
I'll
you
probably
go play
blow out
ball.
my knee again or something. I haven't touched a basketball in
We
like
start
10
with
years.
horse or out. We
Yeah,
just
get my
about
ass
to
kicked.
shot.
Yeah,
So that was your first professional fight?
that was my first pro fight. Yeah,
You didn't have no headgear on.
no, that was my first pro fight.
You had to go through
April.
commission and all that.
Yeah, so that fight was in Mexico, so their commission's a little bit more lax than it is
Mm-hmm.
here in the
Running
U.S.
your record up and stuff.
But yeah, so that was my first pro fight, and yeah, man, I was fortunate enough to get with the right people. They taught me. Shout out to my coach again.
It look good. I want to check out the whole fight, but I mean,
Yeah.
for your first fight to get a knockout, I mean, people don't do that.
I mean, that was pretty much the whole fight. The fight
what
lasted
round was
like,
that?
It was first round. It was like
Oh,
30
God.
seconds. Yeah. So it was a quick fight. But hopefully we'll do another one. My coach has a fight lined up, I think, in April.
Mm-hmm.
Just got changed. So once he gets his fight out of the way, then we kind of focus on
So
mine.
you're gonna continue.
We're gonna do one more, and then that's
See
it, man.
how-
I'm getting old. I'm getting too old for
but
this.
we can, you can always do little exhibition fights and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But just one more pro fight, I think, and then I'm gonna call it a day after that.
That's what they all say.
I know, no, but age is a factor, man. You get up there, and this is a young man's sport, just like any other sport. But
Wow.
especially with this one, because you're getting punched in the face.
I would love to come to the next one at least.
Yeah,
for
I'll
sure.
tell you when it happens, man.
So, is there anything that you want to plug? Anything that you're working on outside of the office?
The outside the office, you already said, man. My boxing that I thoroughly enjoy. As far as plugs, man, anybody who needs a chiropractor in the any of those areas that we mentioned earlier, Anaheim, Santa Ana, Riverside, San Diego, LA,
definitely,
Fontana, Carson, any of those areas. Like and you already know, we deal with car accidents, sports injuries, anything from there and in between.
Well, definitely plug. We'll leave your links and stuff under, but tell people where they can find you, your
Yeah, man.
Instagram.
The Instagram.
Anything else you want to go from there?
What is my Instagram? It's Dr. Kamron.
I think it's KC underscore. No,
I think it's
DC
Kamron underscore DC, right? Let me check.
Yeah.
I don't know where my phone's at.
I think it's DC underscore Cameron.
I think it's the other way. I think it's Kamron underscore
yeah.
DC. Something like that.
We're gonna plug.
We'll put it on there.
We'll put it
Yeah.
on there. Yeah.
That's a good plug. And then, yeah, man, any chiropractic needs. Another plug for my brother, man. Anybody who needs cosmetic work, plastic surgery to the face, anything from cosmetic work to structural stuff that's pertaining to the face. My little brother, Deeb Derek Sean MD on Instagram. Kid's a genius.
Okay. Well, I would like to say congratulations on your new spot in San
Thanks, man.
Diego.
Thank you.
I want to check that out. I love San Diego, so that's a cool
Thank you.
drive.
Yeah,
out
whenever
to.
you want, man.
And
It's a
thank you
beautiful
for
area.
stopping by. I really wanted to have you on this episode because one, you're a good friend of mine, and when I first met you, I lived in Pomona or Rancho, and I had to drive, and I'd be like, and they recommended you. I had to drive. I'm like,
Of a drive, yeah. I
it's
remember.
a little hectic because going back and forth doing these, going through injuries and stuff. But then when I first met you, and you always talked to me, we always bonded about sports, and you always checked on me on my daughter, and then I kind of like taking a
Beautiful
liking to
daughter,
that.
yeah.
And then I take a liking to you, and I'm like, this is a dope doctor because I've been to Doctor's Way in Burbank, and I think they sent me way in Glendale before, and they just kind of check you in. They don't really check on you. So I appreciated that, and that's one thing that always stuck with me. So I just wanted to give you your flowers now.
Thank you, bro.
And have you
Makes me
here
happy.
to tell your story, man, because
Thank
I
you.
really think that you're a dope person. I think this is going to be an opener up for you. More people are going to want to
Yeah,
hear
man.
your story.
Well, thank you for having me, man. This was really cool. My first time I've ever done a podcast. This was really cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for being an awesome patient. And good, man. That makes me happy when you say that because I remember going to doctors when I was a kid and they were all smug and
Just in there. And
they act like they're too good for you to ask you about your life or explain things to
you always came and just like hollered at me and that little
Not
stuff.
like that, yeah.
And
We're people just like everybody else.
it made me feel like you're more of a friend and not like a
Yeah.
patient. And that was always.
I'm not a big fan of people. Whatever walk of life you are, whatever profession you are, I don't like people who act like they're better than anybody
Right.
else. So I'm not a
Right.
big fan of that. So good. That makes me
Thank you.
happy, man.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you.
all smooth.
I done done it all. From production to the mastering. If I wasn't making a beat, I'm either mixing or I'm tracking. And my city say I'm lit. You can ask about the kid.